Welcome everybody back to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're doing another seasonal championship. This one is called in Retro Spec, so we're going to be in Retro Rally Cars in B class. So there are 4 to choose from, which obviously isn't the biggest amount of cars to choose from for a seasonal championship, but we do only have 3 races, and all 4 of the cars are from a different manufacturer, which is crucial for me because I really don't like being in the same manufacturer for each individual race, and it's obviously even worse when you're only able to choose from 1 or 2 cars. So yeah, we do have 4 different cars to choose from, and I think at least 2 of them we've never used in a seasonal championship before, and we're getting there in the Subaru Brat, which if you get 80 points for the festival place overall, you can get it. So yeah, doing this championship will contribute towards that 80 points, give you 5 points. So yeah, let's see where we're going to be racing and what we're going to be racing in. So we're up north for this first race, a bit further south for the second, and even further south for the third. And we've got the Audi Sport Quattro from 1983, which kind of revolutionised, all-wheel drive being used in, more standard cars, not in off-road vehicles. Then you've got the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. It's probably my favourite version of the Lancer, quite frankly. Decent amount of power, a great deal of torque, doesn't weigh all that much, and has really rather decent handling. Then we've got the Peugeot 205 Turbo 16, an absolutely mad car, one of 2 French cars in the 80s to put the engine in the middle, with the Renault 5 Turbo, and yeah, but unlike that Renault, this has all-wheel drive rather than just rear-wheel drive, and yeah, really fantastic. Only 200 horsepower, but it weighs nothing, so it's able to make use of that power. And then we've got the Subaru Impreza 22B STI version. So again, not much in the way of weight. All of these weigh less than £3,000 as you can see, but yeah, this also has 276 horsepower. Not as much torque as say the Mitsubishi, not much more than the Audi, but still pretty damn good. And yeah, one of the better handling cars here, quite frankly. So yeah, we're going to start off with a classic though, and that is going to be the Audi Sport Quattro. Got pretty decent amount of power, quite frankly, for a car from 1983. That's 40 years ago now, and yet it has 306 horsepower. Still only weighs 2,807 pounds, and yeah, it's all round a pretty damn good car. Now obviously for a car from the 80s, it's not going to have the best brakes. Braking technology has obviously come a long way since 1983, but the all-wheel drive system will help handle that all that power, which is more than any other car here by a considerable margin. You've got 26 extra horsepower over the Mitsubishi, so yeah, and it doesn't weigh all that much. So let's see what it can do. Inline 5 turbocharged as well, around more than 7,000 RPM. It's not got the best power delivery because it's, again, like the brakes, turbo technology was also quite in infancy. Obviously brakes have been disc brakes for a while by this point, but yeah, even so, brakes are definitely better nowadays than they were back then, just like turbocharging is better nowadays than it was back then, and yeah, really have to be in the right gear at the right kind of RPM to get the most out of the turbocharger in this. Kind of like the first iteration of the Ford Escort Cosworth. The first iteration of that had a great big giant turbocharger, so there was nothing, and then the power came in great big lumpfuls. He eventually changed it to a smaller turbocharger, so you had more of the power across more of the range, but it was nowhere near as hilariously fast. Right, up to first place. Not much issue, to be honest. Guess it does help that we do comfortably have the most power here. We are also the oldest car here as well. So we dealt with the on-road stuff okay, so let's see what we can do with the rally stuff. Obviously this is far removed from the rally car upon which it is based on, but it's still, got the all-wheel drive system, got more than 300 horsepower, and yeah, it's hardly a slouch on these surfaces as well. So yeah, not long now until we get the rally expansion, which something like this will be at home even more so than it is here. Not that the off-road elements and the off-road racing on this standard game is bad or anything like that, but it does look like they have made some steps to try and make it, the expansion, way more rally orientated. Not just in terms of the map, but also in terms of the cars on offer. But obviously you will be able to use those cars in this base game as well as the expansion, which I'm really looking forward to seeing what cars they've put in. I've seen a few of them, but I'm getting an inkling here that we're not seeing all of them, or at least I hope we haven't. I'm sure I've only seen about 4 or 5, maybe. But regardless, we've got a comfortable win. Probably a little bit easy considering we have all of that power. Like I said, it's comfortably more than the next powerful car here, so yeah, but you know, a win is a win at the end of the day, giving us the all-important 20 points. So let's move on to the second race. Right, second race, and we're going to go right in for a Subaru. I don't think we've used the Impreza 22B on a seasonal championship before, but as you can see, it's got pretty good handling. It's better handling than the Audi. Not quite as good in terms of acceleration, nor in terms of braking either. For whatever reason, I would have thought a 15-year-old newer car would have been better in terms of braking, but still, got a decent amount of power, decent amount of torque. In fact, it's got more torque than the Audi, and yeah, it should have better power delivery as well, being a newer car with newer turbochargers and all that lot. So yeah, let's see what this one can do. Now, I've personally always preferred Mitsubishis over Subarus. I know there's kind of like you know, a battle between the two companies. Well, there was at one point, and definitely in terms of between fans and the like. But if I was going to have a Subaru, it would either be this or one of the newer versions. The ones in between, I'm not typically a mega fan of. But at least, you know, I can enjoy them and respect them, just in the same way I can both with the Mitsubishis. It's just that typically the Mitsubishi ones have been the ones that I've enjoyed more driving, especially with the Mitsubishi that is available on this championship. So yeah, there's no doubt that this is a stonking great car. But if you do compare it to the Mitsubishi that is up front, this does have less power, less horsepower, and it's got 35 pounds-feet of torque less as well. So yeah, and this only has 3 doors. Where's that? That's 5. So not as practical, and yeah, not quite as powerful, but we'll seem to be able to keep up with it at least. It's still by no means a bad car. Quite high revving as well, as you can see, certainly more so than the Audi, with the 8,000 RPM with this. There's the Escort that I was talking about in the previous race. Not the version with the great big whopping turbocharger, unfortunately, but still a decent car, even though, yeah, I'm not as big a fan of it as the likes of this, for instance, or other 90s rally-inspired vehicles. So I prefer the Pulsar, which is up front from Nissan, which, despite not being the prettiest of cars, is a pretty damn good driver's car regardless. First place though has got quite a lead. We were fighting over second place a bit too much. Yeah, I will be doing a playthrough of the rally career in the new rally expansion. There's more than 24 races in that expansion, so we should have plenty of fun in there. Never mind if there's any like showcase events or anything like that. this does not like deep water. Bit of understeer there as well, unfortunately. Looks like it might be a Toyota Celica up front. Gaining on it though. Or is that a Pulsar? Oh, it's a Cosworth. Yeah, they are pretty powerful cars. Not as powerful as this though, but they are lighter as well. But regardless, it has gotten the winner over us, unfortunately. Yeah, the 22B, they're not getting us the win like the Audi did. But then again, it was probably because we were getting a bit in a tussle with the people in third and back. So, yeah, but that just can't be helped sometimes. But yeah, nonetheless, let's get on to the third and final race and see if we can at least get a win. But yeah, as you can see, we are drawn alongside with the Escort for points. So, still everything to play for, but let's get to the third and final race and see if we can win this championship. Right, for this third and final race, we're going to go with a difficult one, and that is going to be the 205 Turbo 16, because it's got the least power here, at only 200 horsepower, although it is the lightest by a comfortable margin, as you can see. But yeah, it's got the least power here. It's the only one that's mid-engine, so it could easily oversteer. And the handling, even though it's as good as the Audi, is worse than the Mitsubishi and the Subaru, and yeah, the brakes are as bad as the Subaru as well. So yeah, and it's got a notoriously bad launch, and the acceleration ain't all that great either. So yeah, this could be a difficult one, but when this car does get going, when it starts to, you know, get through the gears and get the pace up, it is a fantastically quick car. It's just getting to that point in the first place that is the difficult part. So yeah, could go either way with this, but I do enjoy this car a lot. It's the kind of thing that the French don't do anymore in terms of putting big engines in the middle of their small lightweight hatchbacks. Obviously Renault did it with the 5 Turbo, and then obviously they did it with the Clio in the 2000s. But yeah, like I said, it's not something we get anymore, but which is a shame, but that's the way it is. Let's see if this classic can do the unthinkable and beat everyone that's got more power than it. In fact, I think only the Cougar and the Legacy have less, or about the same power as this. Oh, no, the Puma, not the Cougar, sorry. So yeah. But dynamically, this is better than the Puma. Obviously, it's got all-wheel drive, that one has front-wheel drive. And it's mid-engine as well, which, although it can induce some oversteer, generally doesn't make for a better handling car, especially when you throw an all-wheel drive into the mix. Got the lowest revving car here that we've had either. As you can see, it's slightly higher revving than the Audi. Because it weighs so little, the all-wheel drive system doesn't have much in the way to deal with. First and only lap to race on this championship as well. I feel like we need to be doing a bit better than 4th place though. Peugeot, you can do it. I do wish we had more classic Peugeots though in these Forza games, because yeah, this has been the oldest Peugeot we've ever had on a Forza game for a very, very long time. We've not had an older Peugeot than this ever. So, which is a bit of a shame, because obviously Peugeot have done plenty of older cars than this, and they have a very long and varied history in terms of car making. Obviously, some of their late 90s and early 2000s to early 2010 stuff was absolute garbage. But yeah, still, I've done plenty of great stuff recently and plenty of great stuff in the past. So they're trying to beat us off into the barrier there. Didn't work out though, why did it? Will not smash us into the wall. He is gaining on us on the straight. There's an extra 76 horsepower coming into play. This Mitsubishi Galant is a pretty good car as well. I prefer it over the Subaru Legacy in terms of, you know, pre-iconic Mitsubishi or Subaru all-wheel drive rally cars. Both coming out before their respective Impreza and Lancer quick versions. Yeah, it's definitely the one I prefer out of the two. Even in stock form that has more power than us, even though it's only in C-Class originally. So, God knows what it's got now. I know full well when upgrading it into A-Class I'd have got 600 horsepower of its stock engine. Formidable amount to get out of the engine like that. Obviously it won't have that much in this championship, but still. Doubt it's got less than we do. It doesn't even have less than we do in stock form, so yeah. Oh, can we at least get second? Yes, just by half a car length. But yeah, that is another second place, so will we get the championship overall with only one first place position and two second place? No, we will not. The Galant will beat us at the end of the day. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. You can't help it out of... When it comes to championships like this, you can't guess or work out whether or not you're in the right car or not. But yeah, that Peugeot, even though I really rather enjoy it, is not the right car for this championship, especially not in a standard form. So yeah, bit of a life lesson there. But regardless, I have the points already for the 80 points for the Subaru Brat, as well as the 20 points for the Honda Ridgeline. So it's not massively important for me to win this championship, but it will be for you if you haven't got those points already. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.